So come into your feet. Just give yourself a few deep breaths to land and to arrive. Notice how it feels with your imprint, your soles on the mat. And it's interesting to observe where our plumb line. So a plumb line is an imaginary line that has dropped from the ceiling and everything is moving down the center. So imagine a piece of thread dropping down, and we want everything to be stacked on that one thread, kind of like a nice long bead or a mala. So we're nice and tall. Just to give you an idea, the chin will lightly tuck back, so the back of your head lines up with your tailbone. And there's some smoothness as well in your lower back. So if you feel like you're dropping the spine or you're sagging into your low back, try to engage a little bit so that we're drawing that nice S curve into the spine. And then start to move forward and back on your feet. Notice how this feels as the soles of your feet transfer weight. So a lot of the times you hear like hip width distance, but maybe that feels better to come wider with your stance. And then just notice how that feels. Now, bring the shoulders up to the ears, draw your shoulder heads back and down. There's almost like a lift through the sternum, broadening through your collarbones. Take a breath in and breath out. One more time, big breath in and a breath out. All right, so stay exactly where you are. I'm just going to turn so that you can see a better angle of my arms. Okay. So roll the shoulder heads back and down. And we'll just bring the hands onto your hips. Bring the weight into your left foot and float the right heel just an inch off of your mat. Now that does require a lot of stabilization through your supporting foot. And the foot's not very high. It's only about an inch or so. And as you engage to lift, see if you could draw a little bit of height in your spine. Containment in the abdomen. Now, the practice, as I mentioned, is going to be focused on the shoulders and the hips. So here you can feel how we need to stabilize our hips. Practice containment through the glutes. Okay, take a breath in, hands on the hips. Just float the heel up an inch or two. So this is kind of like a baby warrior 3, yeah? Okay, take a breath in to give yourself some length. Now, inner thigh, the right inner thigh rotates towards the ceiling or to the back wall because we're not quite high yet. Now, as you come deeper into this baby warrior 3, observe what's happening in your ankle, your left ankle. Stabilize your foundation just as you did in mountain pose. The entire sole of your foot grounding into the mat. Glutes are still active, so we're stable. Take a breath in. Exhale to set the foot down. Good, other side. Take a full inhale. Float your left foot up. Now exhale to float the heel just a couple inches off the mat. Now I often use my hands to kind of just see where I am engaging, where I'm activating. Yep, buns are on. Quads are on, chest is lifted. Now, a harder place to observe is what's going on in the upper back, in the shoulders. So if you're kind of rounding forward, that's adding more weight to your chest. So feel the upper back engage, lengthen through your chest. Keep reaching actively through your back heel. Stabilize the foundation. Take a breath in. Exhale, pull in through the midsection. So we're hugging it all in through the center line of the body. Good. Now that plumb line, that little thread is still dropping actively through as if you were to be standing with your feet together. All right. Float the foot back down. Shift it out. Maybe bending the knees. Shake it out. I really like this one. I think this pose with the hip. Just imagine like a jar, a peanut butter jar, a knife trying to scrape out the sides. Ooh, get in there. Okay, so now we're going to add on a little bit more to that. Hands come back on. Put the right heel up. Take a full breath in. Exhale to contract the belly. Float the right heel up. Find the balance. Take a breath in, inner thigh rotates, and then bring your hands, interlacing the fingers onto your left thigh. Feel the glutes turn on, very nice and supported. Now, if the left hamstring, if your standing hamstring is feeling tight, bend your knee. Eyes are steady and focused. Good. Inhale to bring the hands back onto the hips, foot floats together, or at least hip width, just land the foot basically. Foot floats, engage through the core of your body. Now slide the hands onto your right thigh for support. Lift the left heel up just a little bit more. Try your best to have some softness in your knee, but you can feel that when you change the knee position, the entire foot starts to jiggle and shift a bit. That's okay. We're stabilizing all those little muscles in the feet. Stabilizing, well, the little bones more than anything. Take a breath in. And exhale to land. Inhale, reach. Spread your fingers wide. Take a full breath in. Exhale to land. Now, if you are really active in your shoulders or you're hypermobile, it's easy to slide the shoulders up to the ears. I'm going to step a little closer so you can see. So it's easier to slide the shoulders up to the ears. Try to keep the shoulders relaxed. Now, if you've been practicing yoga a long time, maybe we're too relaxed in the shoulders. So can you find that nice sweet balance between? Take a breath in. Exhale to imagine you're hugging a block between your hands. In fact, if you want, you could take the block between your palms and activate the shoulders. And still contained through the section of the body. Now we're going to stay active in the arms. Keep hugging the arms in. Bring your arms a little bit behind your head as far as you can without going and it's a big release valve. So draw that back in. Strengthen through your legs. One more inhale. Good. Exhale to release the arms down. Set the block off to the side if you're using that and shake it off. All right, let's start moving and grooving here. So take a big breath in, reach up, half sun salutations. Exhale to fold forward. Hands to the shins, halfway lift, stretch your back, broaden across your collarbones. Exhale to fold. Bring some softness into your knees. Inhale, reach all the way up, rise up. Exhale, hands at heart center. Take a breath in, reach. See if you can, as you lengthen through the fold. Halfway lift, stretch through the chest. Squeeze your sit bones together. Good, now fold in, exhale. Inhale, rise up, come all the way up. Exhale, hands in front of your heart. Then reach. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen. Feel for drawing through the chest. So it's like you're trying to pull the pubic bone back, forward. Now exhale, hands to the mat. Take a step back into downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet. Notice how that feels, just to add some movement. Might even feel nice to do like figure eights or sway the hips from side to side. Now, traditionally in downward dog, we keep the feet about hip width distance, but let's take the feet out wide, like a little wider than your hips, maybe even out to the sides of your mat. A little wide knee down dog. Keep pressing your hands down and forward. Now we're gonna get really active across the upper back and into your shoulders. So start to turn the armpits inward to face each other. So we're feeling a rotation through the upper arm bones. It's kind of like the shoulder blades are wrapping around your ribs. Take a breath in. Now exhale, bend the elbows just to hover the mat, just hovering. Good. Inhale to straighten out the elbows. Exhale, bend the elbows just to a hover. Keep pressing the hands down and forward, hips lifting up and back. Inhale, lift. Now exhale, bend, 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 hug the elbows in. Feel the shoulder blades wrap. Now slowly lower your elbows to the mat, right into Dolphin Pose. Just play with the position of your length. If it feels like you're too long, then walk the feet forward, but we're still wide in our stance. Dolphin Pose, such a great way to strengthen our upper back. Also open up and through the entire shoulder girdle. So we're feeling this a lot through here. So let's keep wrapping the shoulder blades around the ribs. Now let's add some movement here. So take a breath in. On the exhale, contract your belly, lift into down dog. Now I realize that probably won't be smooth right away, and if that's a new thing for you, do one elbow at a time. So we're gonna do that going back and forth between dolphin and down dog. Take a breath in. Exhale to contract, lower the elbows down, nice and slow, maybe one at a time. Breathe in. Exhale, float back up, nice and strong. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale to lower, elbows down. Take a full breath in, lift through the hips. Exhale, come back up, downward dog. Ooh, feeling that one for sure. Breathe in and breathe out. Okay, set your knees on the mat. Come into seated position where your feet are flat. This might feel a little bit tight for your feet. So if that's the case, you can always sit on one of your blocks or your book if you need to. All right, so let's take the hands, interlace the fingers, palms away from the chest. Full breath in. Exhale to reach your arms up. Good, take a full breath in at the top. And exhale, come forward, round the back, chin to chest. Feel the shoulder blades open up. Good, inhale, come back up. And exhale to round through. Good, do this a few times. Notice how that feels. Matching the movement with your breath. Okay, last one. Good. Finalize this full round. Reach through the heels of your hands. Exhale, come forward, forward, forward. Reach, tuck the chin in, and shake it out. You might feel a lot of heat in your forearms. I definitely feel that. It's kind of nice to have that activation there. All right, downward dog. Take your right leg up nice and high. Bend your knee, open your hip, rotate through your hips. Keep pressing the right baby finger down and forward. Yeah, now keep the head relaxed, neck is at ease. A full breath in to lengthen out your leg. Exhale, knee to your nose. Now, keep pressing the thigh up into your chest and quietly step your foot beside your right thumb. Set the back knee to the mat, deep lunge. Come onto your fingertips. Now, I think that my arm to leg portion is quite off balance. So I think my arms are pretty long compared to my legs. If you have shorter arms or it's harder to reach the floor, you might be able to might feel better coming up onto blocks. All right. So see here. Now the feeling in this deep lunge, because we're still focusing on stabilizing and feeling strength in this movement, think of drawing the chest forward. So your sternum, that's that heavy bone in the chest. Pull it forward. Keep lifting through. Now lengthen back through the tailbone. And then there's a slight contraction through your hips. It's an isometric contraction, as if you're trying to pull your left hip forward and the right hip back. So there's no actual movement. Take a breath in. Exhale to straighten out the front leg. Come into a half split. Then take your left hand to the outside of your right foot. Big inhale. Exhale, start to twist the foot and the chest ever so slightly. We're gonna come into this a couple times as part of our flow. So as we breathe in, give yourself length. Exhale to flex the toes back. Good. Plant the palms flat. Bend the front knee. Take a step back. Downward dog. Full breath in and a breath out. Other side. Inhale the left leg up. Bend your knee. Open the hip. Reaching high through the top knee. Work your right heel into the mat. Big breath in. Get strong through the core of your body. Draw your knee in. And quietly step your foot beside your left thumb. Drop your back knee down. Take a breath in. Exhale to lightly engage. And coming right onto the fingertips so the collarbones are broad. Keep breathing. Now dig through the left heel, right knee forward. Now, the pelvic floor is also a little bit active too, so that helps with the containment and the energy in the body. So feel for lightly drawing in through the pelvis. Take a breath in. Exhale to straighten out the front knee, half split. Now take the right hand to the baby toe side of your foot. Full inhale for length on the right side. Exhale to fold. Breathe into the fullness of your chest, your shoulders, your back. All right, take a breath in. Exhale to bend the front knee, plant the palms flat. Let's take a step back. High plank, high plank. Drop your knees to the earth, chest and chin lowered. Inhale into a baby cobra. Hug the shoulder blades around your spine. Pubic bone into the mat. Top, downward dog. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, knee to your nose. Quietly step forward, deep lunge again. And this time we're gonna take the hands right up onto the front thigh. Find your balance. Good. Inhale to reach your arms all the way up and back. Pull in through the belly. Keep pressing your palms up to the ceiling. Maybe the biceps come behind your ears. So just check in, be real here. Are you noticing if the shoulders are sneaking up? Are you sagging too low, relaxed? Find that nice, happy balance. Ooh, you can feel this in the front of your left hip too, into the psoas, also a muscle that tends to get very tight. Okay, take a breath in. Exhale, hands come down. Straighten out the front leg. Now this time, instead of grabbing your foot, you're gonna walk your hands all the way over to your right. Okay, now inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold over the right thigh. So it kind of feels funky, this one, yeah? Because we're like twisting and turning in different directions. Reach actively through your right heel, and at the same time, crown of the head is in this nice big twist. Lean back into it a little bit more. Notice how that feels in the left side of your body. All right, walk the hands forward. Curl the back toes under, step back. High plank. Nice and strong. Take a breath in. Option to set the knees. Exhale, lower down, halfway. Take a breath in. Exhale, back up. Full push-up this time. Downward dog. Take a breath in through your nose. Sigh out your mouth. Okay, other side. Left leg up. Take a breath in. Exhale, knee to your nose. Quietly step forward and then drop your back knee. Rise up onto your front thigh. Take a breath in to feel the space in your sides. Exhale to get lower into the hips. Now inhale, reach all the way up and back. Up and back. Now change the grip of your hands. Just don't think about it too much. It's probably the opposite way that you just did it. Shoulders are soft, within reason. I say that because we want to find that nice happy balance between the two. Take an inhale. Exhale, hands come down. Straighten out the front knee. Breathe in for space. Exhale, crawl your hands over to the left side. Reach through the left heel. So the two sides are going to always feel very different. And it's easy for us to create labels and judge, but you know what? It just feels different. Our bodies are totally asymmetric. Come back up to the front. Plant the palms flat. Take a step back. High plank. Option to set your knees down. Breathe in. Come onto the tops or lean into the toes. Exhale, chaturanga. Keep reaching through the heels. Gazes slightly forward. Breathe in. Exhale, high plank. Downward dog. Full breath in through the nose. And exhale out your mouth. Good. Inhale, reach the right heel up. Exhale to step forward. Good. Set the back knee to the mat. Actually, you know what? We're going to keep the back knee lifted here. Good. Breathe in. Exhale to lift the chest. Come up onto your thigh. Stabilize your foundation. We'll set up runner's lunge. So reach forward through the crown of your head. Fingertips extend back. Activate through the upper back. And now the hands will come onto your front thigh. Take a breath in. Lift the back heel up nice and slow. You could keep the hands here, or you could bring your arms over your head. So you can feel how the shoulders have to stay really engaged. Imagine you're holding the block between your palms. Reach through your heel. Good. Hands can come back onto your thigh. Land. Runner's lunge. Banarasana. Now, instead of having the arms over your head, imagine the block is behind you. Squeeze the hands together. Take a breath in. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step back into high plank. Lower down halfway chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale to carry through, downward dog. Other side. Take the left leg up. Knee comes in through the nose, to the nose. Step forward. Rise up onto your front thigh. Feel the engagement through your body. So the entire hip girdle, that's active. Press through the back quad, lift your shin into your calf, reach through the crown of your head. Deepen your breathing. Once you find that moment of challenge, it's easy to fall into shallow breath, and that's actually fight, flight, or collapse happening here. So see if you can feel the lengthening of your breathing. Hands come onto your front thigh, take a breath in. Now exhale, turn on the glutes as you lift the heel up. Straighten out through the left leg, breathe. Arms can come at your side or over your head. Keep turning your inner thigh towards the ceiling. Imagine you have that block between your palms. Armpits start to turn inwards to face each other. Hand comes back onto your thighs, step back. Take a full breath in. Exhale, bring your hands to the mat. Step back to high plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale to up dog. Exhale, carry through downward dog. Now bring your hands to the back of your mat, to your feet. Grab for the opposite shoulders, elbows, I should say. And hang over your thighs. Bend your knees a lot so that your belly and your ribs, they're resting on the tops of your legs. Whew. All right, hands come back down to the mat. Let's come to downward dog one more time. Lift up high onto your toes. Let it go. Good. Now walk the hands, step your feet to the outside of your hands. Actually, we're gonna do one more pose. We get into the nitty-gritty of those arm balancing that I have in mind. Okay, so step your right foot to the outside of your right hand, then come all the way up for extended side angle pose. So we come back up, bring your right elbow to the front thigh. Upper arm is gonna come to the low back. You can either grab for your hip or the waistband of your pant. You can also interlace your hands and come into a full bind. Roll the chest open, breathe deep. See if you could hug the left shoulder blade around your spine a little bit more. Take a full breath in. And as you exhale, straighten up the front knee. Come into a bound triangle. Breathe into it. Take a full inhale. Exhale to bend. Breathe in. Exhale to firm up through the quad as you straighten out your knee. Good. Hands come down to frame your foot, step back, downward dog. Other side, left leg comes up. Step your foot to the outside of your left hand. Come right to extended side angle pose. Take your top arm, cross the low back. Grab for your hip, the thigh, the waistband of your pant, or come into a full bind. Keep rolling back through your chest. Press the hips forward. Take a full breath in and exhale, straighten out your knee. Again, breathe in to bend. Exhale to lengthen. Breathe in. And we'll hold this one a little bit longer. Let the weight of the head drop. Right shoulder is wrapping the spine. Okay. Okay, hands come down. Now this time we're gonna walk the hands over to the long edge of the mat, the right side of your mat. All 10 toes point to the long edge of your space. Breathe in and fold. All right, so the toes in this forward fold are straight out, so they're parallel to the short end of your mat. Now hands come to a halfway lift to lengthen, bend your knees, hands to your hips, exhale to come all the way up. All right, so I'm gonna kind of turn to avoid a little bit of a funky shot here. Keep your feet wide. You're still in that wide stance facing the, oh, whatever, I'll just go this way. Take a breath in. Exhale to bend the knees, get down low. So this time, this pose is called Goddess Squat. You've heard it a few different variations too, probably. Bring your hands onto your thighs. Press down. Lengthen your sides. So knees and toes, they're pointing in the same direction. You can feel how the inner thighs try to stretch the inner legs by pulling the knees back. And at the same time, the quads, or sorry, not the quads, the glutes and the outer thighs, they're engaged to pull the knees back. Take a breath in, reach up. Exhale to pull it in. Inhale, reach. Exhale, pull in. Inhale, exhale. One more time. Inhale, reach. Exhale to pull. Good. Straighten out the legs, turn the toes in, and fold forward. Again, this time we're going to grab hold of your big toes, ankles, or your calves. Give yourself some space to breathe. Exhale to pull. Slide the shoulders up your back. Keep the upper back nice and strong. Two more breaths. Now the opposing force, as you lift the tailbone up to the sky, the crown of the head is working with gravity to lengthen to your mat. All right, hands come back to the mat. Take your breath in, lengthen, walk your hands forward to frame your front foot, step back, come into down dog. All right, bring your knees down, have a little sip of water. Just grab your blocks too so they're readily accessible. I just have to check on the time here. I didn't have the clock close by. Hi, all right. Okay, so we are gonna move right into our yin practice here. From tabletop position, curl your toes under. You can even reach back and curl the baby toe and the one beside it. Come up to sitting on your heels. Slow your breath all the way down. Now, this might feel like a lot for some of you to open your feet, and that's okay. So there's a lot of connection, especially through the arch of your foot. There's this really tight band. Sometimes that can be really strong, or the sensation is strong through the toes and the tops of your feet. But we're opening up a lot of, if you believe in the practice of reflexology, there's a lot of information that we can actually deliver to the body through the soles of our feet. There's also so much tension depending on the activities that you do, the shoes that you wear. So we'll stay here for a few more breaths. Notice how it feels to move into the sensation, but redirect any negativity or any sort of tension building. Start to breathe into that area. So instead of welcoming tension, negativity, or even like negative thinking patterns, change it, redirect it, and listen to your breath instead. Come onto your hands, uncurl your toes. They'll probably creak out. Oh yeah, there they are. Tap your toes. Wake up your neighbors, the people below you. Now keep the toes uncurled so you're on your shoelaces. Have a seat again, just like you were a moment ago, except this time the feet are flat. Lean back onto your hands. Take a breath in. Lift your knees off of the mat. Now, you don't have to take the knees up very high. They can come maybe an inch or two off of the mat, moving into our toe flexibility and so forth. Now, if you've ever experienced an injury or have had an injury in the ankles or the feet, these poses are really great to help bring some strength and some mobility back into those joints. They tend to kind of build tissue over time, and it's hard for those areas to heal properly. So welcoming these types of stretches will help to rebuild strength and get the fluid back into those areas again. You can just count to yourself 5 of your deepest breaths. And you can direct the breath into any space where you're feeling the most sensation. All right, the knees can come back down. Tap, do whatever you need to. Roll out the feet. Okay, and then bring the feet off to the side and come into a seated position. Let's make our way into butterfly pose. So the soles of the feet together, knees drop open. You can do whatever position in the legs feels appropriate for you. So maybe this actually feels better to have the heels further away from you, and that's more of a diamond shape. You could do that. It's a different area when we pull the heels further away. So that's more of an outer hip and thigh. When the heels are closer, that's going to focus on the thighs. I also use the blocks for this to rest my chest, rest the elbows as we come forward. Just come forward. Now, I know I didn't offer it at the beginning of class, but if you had a cushion, a bolster, it's also really relaxing to bring that across the legs, like so. So imagine this is a bolster or a cushion, and you could just drape your body over. You could do that too in these blocks. It's entirely up to you. Get really creative with the use of blocks. The blocks are such a great way to enhance your practice. Let the weight of your body just relax towards the mat. You're here for at least 10 to 15 breaths. Listening to the breath as it moves past the throat into your chest. And there's even a sensation, a sound that is part of your breathing. It's that ocean sound breath, Ujjayi breathing. I hear it often called the Darth Vader breath. So the audible sound of your breath, it stimulates a nerve in the brain. It's like a vibration to help calm the nervous system. So when that is signaled, it welcomes a sense of calmness to wash over your body. Couple more breaths. Great space. And as you exhale, welcome depth. Okay. Crawl your way back up. Hands to the outside of your knees. Help your knees up. Give yourself a hug. A nice squeeze in. All right. Okay. So from here, we'll come right into deer pose. So let's start off to bring the left knee down. The left knee is at a 90-degree angle, or whatever angle is comfortable for your hips. Stay on your left hip, and then we'll take the right leg out behind you. So both of your knees are bent. Then we'll start to crawl our way towards your left shin, coming all the way down. And again, use the blocks. So you can use the block to place under your elbows, maybe stacking one under your forehead like so. Or if you have a bolster, you can bring it right through. I'm just gonna grab the bolster in case you have one. You can use it, or a pillow even, a sofa cushion is good. So you can between the legs and lie forward. So you have the entire support of the props as you ease into the stretch. Again, if this option is not available, you can use pillows, cushions, or just get right down onto your elbows. Whatever feels good. And capture the movement of your breathing. Notice how it feels. Maybe there is a cinching of your inhale at the top. Smooth it out so the inhale weaves into the exhale, and the exhale threads right back. Okay, 2 more breaths. In the practice of Yin, there's more space for silence, allowing our bodies to calm down. Rise up. Lean all of your weight onto your left hip. Bring the right hand behind the right thigh and slide your knee forward. Come all the way through. So lean all the weight onto your right hip. And then swing the left leg out behind you. And take a full breath in. Exhale to come forward. Use your props. You can get them out of the way too if they're in the way. And as I said earlier, the two sides are very different. You can do something like this on one side. Yeah, you can even make that sound effect too. It's totally okay. If you're by yourself at home, actually can make as much noise as you want. Just feel this into wherever you're feeling this. Just notice how you can breathe. Can you really welcome the full capacity of your breath? Now, if you're in the full stretch of this pose, you should be maybe around anywhere between 50 and 70%. If you're at a full 100% of the stretch, it's not going to be supported. There won't be any room for you to move. I'm going to just rotate around so you can see the position of my knees again. Sort of like this. But you're still with the right knee forward. Yeah. Can you bring a sense of relaxation to the back of your neck? Let the weight of your head hang. 5 to 8 more breaths. Swallow, moisten your palate so that your jaw stays relaxed. That's 3 breaths. Okay, come on up. Lean all your weight onto your right hip. Left hand comes behind the left thigh and then slide your knee forward. Okay, draw your knees in, roll up really, really tight. All right, come onto your back with the knees bent, feet flat on the mat. Just make sure your blocks are readily accessible. I'm just going to check in on the time. Perfect. Okay, good. All right, so come on to your back. Grab your block, lift your hips up, and slide the block underneath your sacrum, supported bridge. Such a great one to come into. Now, I want you to work with the height of the block. So whatever is feeling good here, maybe you could come up a little bit higher, or perhaps it might even feel good to take it to the top height today. Whatever is working for your spine. Now, you're the best judge of that, so you'll know better than I will. And once you get into it, you can either stay here with the feet planted, or we're going to come more into a deeper quad stretch. So start off with the left foot. Take the foot, and we're going to roll the toes under. I'm going to come up higher on my block so I have a little more space for a deeper stretch. And the foot will come in, tucking under. Oh, yeah. You know, it's some of you might have practiced with me in a live class before. Now, I like to laugh a lot. Laughing is like my thing. I love laughing. But also, when I'm really nervous or uncomfortable, I laugh too. So I just was thinking that as I was giggling, getting into this pose, as it sure doesn't feel like I'm, chilling out watching Netflix, something like that. Go, there it is again. Go. Okay, breathe, Parinas, breathe. Just take a few more breaths here. 5 more or so, because we got to do the other side as well. All right, so help the foot come back to flat, and we'll switch it up. Come on to the other side. So the left knee bends. If you can grab the right knee, grab the right foot. Try to place the tops of your feet on the mat. And you might even notice one side is tighter. So I can definitely feel that tightness on the right side. I'm going to drop the hips down a little lower and then come into it in a different, on the lower sensation. That's much better. So just feeling that out. Breathe into your quad. And what's really cool to feel is how just a simple change of the hips, the height of the hips will also change where you feel this in the thigh. Are you going to feel it closer to the hip? You might feel it more towards your knee. You might even feel it right in the middle, in the belly of the quad. Heck, you might even just feel this right in the hip. Just a couple more breaths here. Okay, uncurl the foot, help the foot come back to flat. Lift your hips up, get strong through the glutes as you lift, and then start to roll down one vertebra at a time. All right, now you can grab your second block. We may not have used it very much throughout the practice. Slide the blocks underneath your thighs. And if there are any final movements you'd like to take before Shavasana, now's a good time to do that. Draw your tailbone underneath you. Take as much space as you can. All right. The shoulder blades slide underneath your body. Your breath is now coming back to its natural pace. All right. So before we dive deep into our relaxation, curl your fingers into balls of fists. And then point your toes, reach through your legs, reach through, squeeze, engage, try to lift your tush off of the mat, reach. Okay, relax. One more time, take a breath in. Exhale, go for it. Squeeze, lift, point the toes, flex through the legs, squeeze through the butt, lift up high, reach through the hands. And relax down. Let's do that once with our face. So we're going to squeeze everything just like we just bit into a sour lemon. Take a big breath in. Exhale, squeeze. Here's this like tightest little angry little face you have. Tight. And relax. Feel your entire body relax. And you can really feel your body on your mat. The connection of the earth in your skin. And as you give yourself permission to relax even deeper, a sense of heaviness washes over you. So heavy. So heavy that it almost feels like sandbags on your feet, on your hands. And the surface of your skin is spreading wider and wider. Softness in the jaw and the eyes. Now, if you do have the time today, stay here long. Take as much time as you need. When you're ready to continue, slowly deepen the breath, waking up your limbs, waking up your fingers or toes. You can even give yourself 4 or 5 breaths before you come back to standing. Thank you for your energy. Have a wonderful day. From my heart to yours, namaste.